Welcome back to the sixth and final segment of Blue Collar Sports Day, the final segment of our 100th show ever. It's been a great show so far. Talked a lot about personal style. That's what we wanted to make the theme of today's show, kind of get to know me and Trevor on a personal level, and of course our views on sports. And definitely that's what leads to a lot of great shows is our opposite views on a lot of stuff. That's what leads to great debates. And that's what we're going to end with show like we end every single last show of the week. Last segment's always geared towards a debate. We've done that all shows. I mean, I've obviously not every show is the last show of the week, but every time we've ended a week, it's always been a debate.
Yeah, this is pretty much our marker, our segment that we always do. If you know Blue Collar Sports, you all know about our debates at the end of the week. And we've done one similar to this. We've done the most best athlete of all time. We've done that, of course. This time it's a little similar in the most dominant athlete of all time. And we kind of gave you a hint last segment at who our picks were, but now we're going to get into more detail on why these guys are the most dominant athlete. And so, Steph, I know you already talked about him a little bit. Let's hear why Tiger Woods is the most dominant athlete of all time.
Yeah, we're going to hear plenty on that. Before I get into the points I'm going to make about how Tiger is without a doubt the most dominant athlete of all time, we decided to bring in a judge and a good friend today. This is my guy, Paul Michael Pennington. Played high school basketball together. Paul, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Just thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. This is really cool for me. I tune into the show pretty regularly, and I'm happy to just have an opinion and just kind of view in on how everything's going and talk some sports with you guys.
Right on.
Well, let's do it. I'm excited about it. So we're going to give our takes, our opinions, and Paul will definitely give his as well. So like I said, Tiger is without it, and it's kind of a broad topic when you talk about most dominant athlete. What does that mean? Like physical athletes, stats, championships, what are we going off here? Especially when we bring in every single sport. But dominant, I think, entails all of that. It entails everything.
Yeah.
Importance to the sport is the biggest thing for me. How important, when I hear dominant, it's importance. And Tiger Woods, I've said it on the show before, Tiger Woods is golf. So I read an article, and I wrote a bunch of stuff down about it. But so Tiger, of course, he's brought onto this scene as a 2-year-old. On the Michael Douglas show a long time ago, came walking in his little golf set. He was kind of, and like LeBron James, I'll give that. He's kind of been the man of the scene ever since he was a kid, and that's a lot of pressure. He turned pro in 1996, and so I got a couple stats from 1996. He was an amateur. He won 3 amateur championships before turning pro in 1996. And the crazy stat for me that really jumped out to me back in, and we're going back to this is before I was born, before any of us were born. And before he went pro in golf, no athlete had over a $5 million endorsement deal. And it was no amateur had ever signed an endorsement deal. And no athlete even had above a $5 million deal. When he was an amateur, before turning pro in 1996, Nike signed him to a $40 million deal. He was still an amateur, and no one even had $5 million. He was signed to a $40 million deal. Titleist signed him to a $3 million deal just to wear their glove. Nike, he had to wear the shoes and the shirt, and of course everyone knows what happened with him and Nike after that. And going back to a couple stats in terms of looking at the broad spectrum of golf, PGA events in 1996, before Tiger was on the scene, the average total purse, the average money made through PGA Tour events for the whole entire year, there's 44 tournaments, was $1,529,545. The average first place check was $263. So the average tournament, if you got first place, you won $263,000. Flash forward to 2016 when Tiger Woods comes back and is dealing with all that stuff, comes back. They have 46 events, so 2 more events added. The average total purse, this is per tournament, was the $1 million. There was $1,529,000 made in 1996. The average per tournament now is $6,926,087. The average first place check, if you win first place on average in a tournament, is $1,258,861. That's almost the exact as much as the average tournament had back in 1996. And there's always that saying where successful golfers now have Tiger Woods to thank for their income because he brought all this money to golf. And the biggest point I'm going to leave off with is when you talk about most dominant athletes, obviously Michael Jordan comes to mind. Magic Johnson,
Tom Brady.
when you look at basketball, football, you look at Tom Brady, Joe Montana, those names come to mind. Baseball, you could look at Derek Jeter, Babe Ruth, you could look at a bunch of names. Those sports, basketball, while of course Michael Jordan is huge for basketball, basketball would still be okay with Michael Jordan. They had Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. Magic was the Michael before Michael. They had Kobe Bryant later, LeBron James now. You look at NFL, while Tom Brady has obviously dominated it, the ratings wouldn't be significantly worse if Tom Brady had never played. If Tiger Woods had never played, I think golf, the ratings would be significantly dropped. Tiger Woods is golf. Golf would take a huge hit. We saw it when he took a break with his injuries, with all of his off-field drama, off-the-course drama. It took a significant rating. Nike golf products went down the drain. Golf, the ratings took a huge hit. Without Tiger Woods, golf would not nearly be as successful, both in participation, both from non-pros, like just the average person that likes to go golf. We want to see it as popular there, and in terms from a pro perspective and rating perspective, golf would not be the same without Tiger Woods.
You made some good points there, but money, I think it's kind of inflation. Money goes up all the time. That's what happens, all right? But the most dominant athlete of all time here is LeBron James. He is currently the most dominant athlete. Come on. But LeBron James.
Talking to guys that do not agree.
8 straight NBA Finals appearances. We haven't seen something like that. Of course, we know his dominance on the court. He's the only player ever with 30,000 points, 8,000 assists, and 8,000 rebounds. No player's ever done that before. He will lead the league, or first or second in points of all time. Don't doubt that. He'll be up there for sure. He's got more years in himself. But that's all. We know his dominance on the court. That's great. But he also has the dominance off the court. He does have a pretty good deal with Nike as well. But his is a lifetime $1 billion contract with them. He will be a Nike lifer forever. He will not go away. His shoes I don't see going away, just like Nike golf stuff going away. It's not going away. It's LeBron James.
It went away because Tiger wasn't there.
Exactly. He wasn't there for his sport. That's why he's not the most dominant athlete of all time. He took years off, and he wasn't there for golf. And so if you can't bring it up like you can LeBron James, even though he's not winning like Tiger Woods is winning right now, he's there, and he's bringing the sport. He's elevating it to where it is right now. And so, of course, he's got that contract with Nike. His shoes are a big thing, and he's got the dominance on court. But now, being in LA, he's doing the media and entertainment side of entertainment. So he's got his two companies in Spring Hill Entertainment and also Uninterrupted, which are doing just fine with him. He's going to be making movies now and after his basketball career. He's already made a few, and he does ESPN shows already. If you have ESPN Plus, Uninterrupted. He's got the sports agency with his agent Rich Paul. So he's doing all of that. He's got such a big impact on the NBA that he's bringing over guys. He's trying to bring over guys like Anthony Davis, of course, from his own agency. That's why he made that, so he could get players like that. And so that's why he has a huge impact on the court, off the court, that everybody's attracted to him. And he was too big for Cleveland. He was too big for a city that he had to go to the biggest city in Los Angeles.
Well, can I ask you a question here?
Let's hear it.
I mean, how did that Anthony Davis situation work out for the Lakers?
I think that was our debate last week.
Unfortunately, it's not in LeBron's hands to make that deal.
I mean, the agency's great, but I mean, the current situation of the team is not looking good.
It doesn't look good, but let's talk in the summer, yeah?
Yeah, I'd love to.
I love it. And I will say, off the court, LeBron has built an incredible brand. He's very, very successful with his money. But before I get to my closing arguments, Paul, I know you kind of get thrown into it. You want to prepare for it, but in your mind, who's the most dominant athlete of all time?
I mean, I'd have to go with Tom Brady. I mean, he's just special.
7 rings.
You know, he's gonna have 7 rings before he's done. But you know, the fact that he's just been so dominant, so clutch in what he does, it's just like, it's fun to watch, and I enjoy watching him. But a lot of people sleep on Under Armour. Under Armour has signed 2 of the most dominant players as of right now. Tom Brady just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Steph Curry. Okay, I mean, those are the 2.
I believe Jordan Spieth's with Under Armour.
Yeah, Jordan Spieth. Yeah,
Cam Newton.
perfect. Yeah. So I mean, those guys they're getting dudes that are winning right now.
That's right.
Which I think is pretty big. I don't think Nike has. They have dudes, but they got a lot of dudes, but they don't have the guys that are winning in their sports right now. So a lot of people are sleeping on Under Armour. I'm just gonna put that out there.
It's very interesting too if you aren't familiar with the Nike and Steph Curry story. That's a conversation for another day, but it's a very interesting story if you want to look that up.
I think that's a good point. Under Armour is kind of I think they were the third tier behind Adidas also. But right now, maybe they're right there with Adidas, right behind Nike, I'd say. And I like what you said that Nike has a lot of dudes, but maybe they don't have D dude right now, where their Under Armour does maybe have D dude right now.
Yeah.
But to wrap up my argument, I kind of already made my closing statement. But like I said, when you want to talk about LeBron James, when you want to talk about Tom Brady, these guys might not even be the most dominant athletes of their sports of all time.
Hands down,
When I
they
think
are.
basketball, it's Michael Jordan. And I know we ran a March Madness bracket about this last year.
Yeah.
They ended up tying in the
They
championship.
sure did, because they're right there.
Which was ridiculous, just because it's nowadays. If Jordan was playing right now, it'd be a different argument. But you look at football. Yes, I do agree. There's no doubt that Tom Brady's the most dominant football player of all time. But he isn't. I think football would survive from a rating perspective. I think football would survive from a business perspective without Tom Brady ever playing.
I think football would.
If Tiger Woods never played golf, if there's no such thing as Tiger Woods. If he wasn't around, I think golf would be looked at as a dying sport. I really do think at this point I think golf would looked at as a dying sport. I think Tiger Woods brought a lot of excitement to it. He changed it with kind of the way he attacked golf from like a workout perspective that had never really been brought to golf, and he was just different compared to everyone. That's why everyone loved him. But he made golf fun, and I really do believe golf would be golf's one of my favorite sports. I love golf, but I really do think it'd be a dying sport without Tiger Woods. I don't think the NBA would be dying without LeBron James. I don't think football would be dying without Tom Brady, and that's why I believe Tiger Woods, in terms of dominance of a sport, is the most dominant athlete of all time.
I agree with you on those points. I think Tiger Woods is definitely he changed the sport of golf. But if you just look at you look at those sports, golf was kind of you got guys like Jordan Spieth that are coming up that are, significantly better than Tiger. God, he's just dominating.
At this point, yeah.
At this point, he
Yeah.
is,
Yeah, so he's not the most dominant right now.
Exactly. So, I would say that Tiger Woods definitely changed the game of golf, but I don't think he's the most dominant player currently.
He is not currently, and that's because LeBron James is the most dominant athlete right now. We've seen players elevate the NBA. The NBA has never been bigger than it is right now. It's more global than it ever has been.
I would agree with that.
And I think it's because
I think
LeBron
it's been
James has
better.
brought it.
But I do think I would agree with you in the fact that
It's a different game. It can't be better.
It's
a
never been
different-
more popular.
It's never been popular. LeBron James has brought a different area into the game with outside entertainment and making it global. Michael Jordan definitely elevated to a nice spot. Then there was years, obviously, where it wasn't where it was. LeBron James saved that. He brought it back, and we've never seen a player like him before. And that's why I think everyone's watching NBA now. And he's really brought it to being the second most popular sport in America now after football, when I think baseball was in that standpoint for a long time.
Yeah. LeBron's definitely dominating right now. 10th in the West.
He's been out half the year,
That's
right?
what I was about to say.
He's dominating. 41-year-old Tom Brady, Super Bowl. It's just that's how it goes.
Going off that, I'm not a Tom Brady fan, so I'm going to debate that point as well right now. Yes, Tom Brady, they would not have won the Super Bowl without Tom Brady, but this Super Bowl surprises me about how much credit he's getting. I know it's his 7th Super Bowl,
He played well.
but he didn't do anything.
What
He didn't do
credit?
anything, and
What credit is he
he
getting?
wasn't the best player on their team in that game. Their defense won them that Super Bowl. He didn't even throw a touchdown.
Well, okay, he threw a 35-yard pass to Gronk on the 2-yard line.
It's not all about the touchdowns. It's about setting up for the touchdowns.
It's
and
game
that's what he did.
management.
No,
He did a great job
he
with
deserves
game
credit, but when people are talking about the Super Bowl, they're giving it, it's Tom Brady's 7th, it's Tom Brady's greatness. People overlook this defense. This is one of the best defensive performances I've ever seen in a Super Bowl. The Rams scored the least amount of points ever in a Super Bowl history, and that's why we talked about last week on this show.
Fantastic Super Bowl.
I think a defensive player should have been MVP. I think you could have looked at Stephen Gilmore or Dante Hightower, and so I don't even think Tom Brady was the most dominant person in that game.
But I think the defense owed him one from last year. I think he outperformed the Eagles
Very true.
completely. But I also think if you look at the game before that, how well he played in that game, the game
Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs. And I think the MVP should go to a guy, and I know it's probably not how it should be, but they should go to a guy that's been dominant all through the playoffs, in my opinion. So I think Julian Edelman deserved that. He dominated that game against the Chiefs.
That was a debate we had.
But yeah, I think if you're looking at a guy that's been dominating the whole playoffs, then you got to give it to Julian Edelman or Tom Brady.
I absolutely agree. There's been tons of dominant athletes, so it's hard to make your case on who is the most dominant athlete of all time. Tiger's in there, LeBron, Tom Brady's in there. maybe throw a couple other guys in there, but we know who the real winner is.
Michael Jordan, maybe throw Michael Jordan's name in there. Michael Jordan's number 2 on my list. I got Tiger Woods and I got Michael Jordan.
Who's number 3?
Jordan changed the game.
No one else. It's a debate between those two. The fact that I just heard 2 other opinions without the name Michael Jordan is I think there's Tiger, there's Jordan, and then there's other people.
Oh no, I don't know, but that's your opinion.
That is definitely my
Arnold
opinion.
Palmer.
Arnold Palmer. That guy's done more for the beverage companies. I mean, no offense to Arnold Palmer. I love Arnold Palmer. But before we kind of wrap up, we still got a couple minutes here before we go. Paul, I know we've talked about, if you guys don't know Paul, he goes to Gonzaga, plays on the basketball team there, but you've reached out to me about starting a podcast. And so, Trevor, I wanted to ask you on our 100 show about, so what would be some advice you have for Paul?
Some advice on here. You know, it's going to be a tough
Now
road
that we
in the
know
beginning.
everything.
Tough road in the beginning, for sure. You're going to have some mistakes. It's not going to go well. We've had issues with our computer all the time where, something's not messing up or it's not working right. Our mic's not working. So you just got to stay relaxed and then just ease into it. Just have a conversation with whoever you're doing it with, and just not being, having fun with it. Just not being too stressed out about it. Just relax and just have a normal conversation with your buddy. Just talking sports.
Yeah, I love it.
That's good advice, and I would say from what I heard in that debate, even though I don't agree with you at all, outside of Tom Brady, I would say I think you would be great at it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, fellas. Appreciate you having me on,
Yeah.
and just keep doing what you guys are doing. This is awesome.
We'll have you more.
Anytime you're in town, you're always welcome to be on. But we are starting to wrap up our 100th show ever. Pretty remarkable. I mean, like we said earlier, we talked about how it started up. I remember we were driving down. I think we were driving home from the game.
I think it was home from Utah.
I believe we were driving. We went to Utah for the Jazz Clippers playoff game. It was the one Blake Griffin got hurt in.
Yeah, broke his hand or something.
Yeah, a couple years ago, and we were driving home, and I love sports and love talking sports, and all of our conversations were always about sports. We work together. And spend a lot of hours together. It's always about sports, and just talk about it in the car, and to think now we're sitting here 100 shows later, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely. A great story. That's how it all started, driving back from a basketball game. So it started with sports, and it's still going strong with sports. And we're going to have 100 more shows, hopefully, and I can't wait to get back to it.
That's the goal, but we wouldn't do it without people paying attention, that's for sure. We appreciate all the love and support from you guys. I know, Paul, you said you tune in quite a bit, so we love having fans. It's if you want to reach out to us, we on Instagram, we got a Twitter, Radio FX. Obviously, Trevor, I'll let you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, reach out to us on all platforms: Instagram, Blue Collar Sports, Twitter, Blue Collar SR. We have YouTube videos of all our Periscope videos. If you're watching right now, you could go on YouTube, watch our past shows. They're all on there, and so tune into any way you can. And we're trying to make it easier for you guys to watch us and listen to us. So it's fantastic to do this for you guys, and we can't do it without you.
That is for sure. And Paul, again, we appreciate you stopping by today. Trevor, the big 100th is in the book.
That's it.
It's just a start. That's what we hope.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Have a great weekend. All-Star Weekend in the NBA is here, so definitely something to pay attention to. Genesis Open, speaking of Tiger Woods, only golf tournament, only PGA tournament Tiger Woods has never won. So definitely something to look forward to. Spring training's coming as well, so lots to watch in sports, and of course we'll be here back Tuesday at 2 o'clock for show number 101 to break down everything from the weekend.
Later.
Zag up.